I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. As Congress resumes session, so will the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee's hearing into the anomalous flood control projects. The panel's chairman, Ping Lacson, says lawmakers tagged in the scandal will be invited, including resigned Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldy Co. But the question remains, where is the former congressman? And will he attend the inquiry? Let's get on point with his legal counsel, Attorney Ruy Rondain. Attorney, good to finally have you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your time. It's also the perfect opportunity today because Senate President Pro Tempore and now again, ang nagbabalik na Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman, Senator Ping Lacson, already said that he is planning to invite former Speaker Martin Romualdez, former Congressman Zaldy Co, your client, and 17 others who were actually mentioned in one of the hearings of the Senate by the Discayas as the ones who had some part or meron pong porsyento in the flood control scandal. Number one, would you advise him to actually come home, show up, attend?
I don't think it's practicable at this time. It's too close. I heard you say Friday ba? I heard it's Friday. Too close. Number two, there are still those concerns about his safety. His concern about his safety. So, might not be practicable. If he asked me, I wouldn't advise it at this time. If he asked me, I would not.
Okay, why?
Because he has concerns about his safety. Number two, like I told you last week, I'm afraid of vigilante violence. So, from what I've been seeing on TV, all these mob protests, it's so scary.
When you say it's too close, why do you say it's too close? Friday? What
Friday,
do you mean by too close? Too close for him to come back to the Philippines from wherever he is?
Yeah, it's too close for him to prep and to confer with me, and I won't be here on Friday.
Yeah. What if it's via Zoom, sir?
That would work, but I would have concerns because then I wouldn't be seated beside him to advise him of his rights. And as you know, yung limitations on technology, may time lag. It would be difficult to nudge him and say, "Don't answer that. I want to tell you something." Technological limitations.
Okay, so basically you're saying that you wouldn't even advise him, number one, you wouldn't advise him to actually show up or appear via Zoom? And number two, that you have your concerns about it because you wouldn't be beside him?
I would have apprehensions if I wasn't beside him. If we were able to Zoom from wherever that I could be with him, then I would have no problem.
So do you think that you'd be able to fly wherever he is?
I might, depends.
So it's still open?
Still open.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is though, so I don't know if I can fly on a whim.
Yeah, that's exactly the time that you will have to know where he is. Because, attorney, also from my understanding, if I'm not mistaken, if it's through Zoom, it might from my understanding, it has to possibly be with the Philippine Embassy or the consulate?
Well, depends on what the rules are. If it were a deposition or something under oath, yes. Someone would have to administer an oath, and it would be the Philippine consulate.
Yeah.
But if it's an ordinary testimony, it wouldn't be under oath because he wouldn't be here testifying. So
but
I don't know.
Everyone's under oath.
Correct.
When they show up in the Senate.
Correct.
So then it makes us think that he has to be within the embassy
Correct.
or the
because
consulate.
you have to swear.
Yeah.
And you have to swear on Philippine soil.
Right.
So it has to be at the consulate.
So, frankly, it's going to be possibly a hard no for him to show up because that way we'll also find out where he is.
Well, I don't want to say a hard no because I don't want the Senate to misinterpret it. Ako sa Senado. Probably not, gentlemen.
Probably not, gentlemen. That's what. Any other option you're seeing for this? Maybe a written reply or an opening statement?
Maybe. Give me time. Maybe a deposition.
Pero kung deposition, di ba ganun din po?
Yes,
we'll still find out where he is.
Yes. And there are procedural mechanisms that you have to lay up, to set up to make it a valid deposition under the rules of court. So if you give me time, that's certainly a good option.
Okay, something that you're more open to.
Yes.
What about him? Do you think he's actually really open to show up either physically or via Zoom?
Physically, no, at this time. Zoom, I see why. Well, it certainly addresses his safety concerns, but it doesn't address my concerns as his counsel to be there to hold his hand, figuratively.
Yeah, but him, kung siya lang po ang tatanungin, does he want to show up? Does he want to air his side of the story? Does he want to answer?
Well, he's always said that he will tell his story eventually at the proper time. I don't know if this is it.
When would be the proper time?
Court of law,
Once a case is filed against him.
yeah, or if he testifies in another case. It's not something that
Or
I've
if he
thought about hard.
testifies on another case, what
Yes.
exactly do you mean by that?
If he's called to testify in a case in which he's not an accused or a respondent, that's a possibility. All these are possibilities. I'm not thinking in terms of probabilities.
I'm just thinking that what you said, if he is asked to appear where he is not an accused, I'm
Sure.
just wondering where
Can be a
where
civil
that would
case.
be.
Can be a civil case. It
Okay.
doesn't have to be a criminal case in which he's an accused or respondent.
All
Can
right.
be someone else's trial.
But I guess what are the steps that could happen if he doesn't show up? Number one is he doesn't receive the invitation, but
Yes.
possibly they might pass it through you. Is something
I
you're willing
read-
to accept?
No, I read the rules of the Senate, unless they've changed the version that I read, and my read is that they have to serve the subpoena on him personally, just like the rules of court. You have to serve a subpoena hand to hand.
In the residence, somebody has to accept it.
No, it has to be him.
I see.
It has to be hand to hand, just like a summons, because otherwise you can't be charged with disobeying it if you have no direct notice.
But how does that work if everybody knows he's abroad?
Exactly my point. You can't arrest someone. This is my read. Again, I don't want to disrespect the Senate. I don't want to preempt them. You can't subpoena someone who you know isn't here because you can't compel him to come home anyway, to appear anyway.
Yeah, so that's actually what I wanted to find out. Pwede ho ba yun that he is given a subpoena? I don't know if anyone in his home would actually accept it because it can't go through Congress anymore because he's resigned.
Yes.
So it has to be through his home.
Yes.
I did hear or read one time that a subpoena was sent to his home and nobody really wanted to receive it. So obviously, kung sino man yung nandun sa bahay, if that was true, was already told, whatever happens, huwag kayong tatanggap ng kahit na ano. Because once
don't
somebody
know.
receives it, somebody received it on behalf of the recipient.
That's the thing, Pinky. My read is that that won't do it. Because under the Senate rules, again, if it hasn't been amended, it has to be to his hand delivered, directly to his hand. And then he can be charged with disobeying Congress, disobeying the Senate. And then they can issue a warrant of arrest.
Right.
But until then, you have due process problems.
If I were to believe your argument, and if you were right that we stand by what you're saying is that it has to be personally handed to him, then that basically frees him of any possible liability or even any arrest warrants after defying or not showing up in the Senate hearing.
It frees him from liability before the Senate.
Yes.
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 So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya pwedeng arrest. They can't order his arrest. I mean, exactly like what's happening to former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque.
No. I understand that Harry Roque is subject of a judicial warrant of arrest, which can be enforced abroad.
Right, right. Okay.
Because it's court to court.
I see. All right. So, how do we move forward from here? Now, if there is a hearing, let me repeat that. There is a hearing on Friday, according to Senator Ping Lacson. We don't know how many will actually appear. It will be sent through the Speaker for interparliamentary courtesy, etc. Paggalang sa bawat both houses of Congress. We don't know who's actually going to show up. Attorney Roy, his name has cropped up over and over and over again. And what? Ganun na lang po. Hindi niya natanggap kasi kailangan personally padala sa kanya. Nasa abroad siya so hindi siya makakasagot. We don't want to do Zoom because I'm not going to be beside him.
Yes. But let's not lose sight of the fact, Pinky, that the Senate is not a prosecutorial body. It's a fact-finding body in aid of legislation. So we don't really need him. We don't really need anyone for that matter. We just give our courtesies. We attend to help the Senate craft legislation. Now, if he doesn't appear for one reason or another, justified or not, the Senate can proceed in any case. Now, if they assume something from his absence, his unwillingness or his inability to appear, then they have their remedies. I'm not daring them to take the remedies again, let me be clear. But it's not like the whole country is going to be stymied because he isn't here. I mean, we can move forward without his testimony and then let the chips fall.
Where they may. But you said during your first press conference that you wanted to, or he or you wanted to correct the narrative because
Yes.
people were being misled.
Yes.
How can we correct, how can he correct the narrative when either of you, or he does not want to show up? He does
Well,
not want to appear.
He's not going to like this when he hears it, but I can correct it better than he can.
Why?
Legalistic eh. We're on legal grounds eh. And I like to think that I'm more articulate than he is.
Yeah, possibly so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's all just going to come from you when the narrative is so skewed.
Yeah.
So to straighten it, to not mislead the people,
Yeah.
people will have to
Yeah.
be asking you
Sure.
all these questions
Sure, because-
related to Zaldy Co.
Because we're discussing an issue and we're treading a narrow path, no? It doesn't have to be a precise path. We'll wait for that precision when we go to court. In the meantime, here's where we are. You're saying this, I'm saying this. You know, we have some leeway either way on both sides. Eh? And when a case is filed, if a case is filed, then we go to the precise details. So while he's not here, while he's not speaking, and I'm not allowing him to speak, by the way, because anything he can say will be used against him.
So that's clear. You're not
Yeah.
allowing him to speak.
Yeah, yeah. Certainly not in public outside of a judicial context.
You're not even allowing him to speak to any media personalities.
What do you think will happen if he speaks to the media unaided by me or his other lawyers?
So-
Dangerous. Eh?
Yeah. So no. Again,
No.
the answer would be no. And just to
That's
be-
why I can reorient the narrative.
And that's what I'd like to do, because we are really left with you having to answer for the former Congressman Zaldy Co. We'll talk about, there is no formal charge yet.
Yes.
There have been recommendations to file charges against your client. We're going to talk about those
Yes.
in a bit. We're going to take a very short break. We'll continue our discussion with Attorney Ruy Rondain when we return. Stay tuned. This is On Point. Welcome back. Still with us, Attorney Ruy Rondain, the legal counsel of resigned Congressman Zaldy Co. As mentioned a while ago, prior to the break, Attorney, no charges have been filed so far.
To my knowledge, yes.
And also to mine. I know there's an NBI that was filed before the DOJ. My understanding, it was also a recommendation to file charges. And the last one is coming from the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or the ICI, recommending administrative and criminal charges against your client in relation to this flood control project in Oriental Mindoro to the tune of almost 300 million pesos. This project was implemented through Sunwest. Ito na
Okay.
po. Itong kailangan natin pag-usapan,
Okay.
Sunwest Incorporated, a firm linked with Co. How is Co, Zaldy Co, linked to Sunwest? Let's start from when? 1997, when he co-founded this.
Okay.
Okay, what happened after that? He divested sometime in 2019?
Yes.
Okay.
Before he sat in Congress.
And then,
And that's it.
when he divested, exactly what do you mean? Did he sell his shares?
Yes. I understand that I don't know the method or the mode of divestment, but I'm absolutely sure that he divested.
But if you divest, it's either you sell them or you
Yes.
withdraw, right?
You sell or you donate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he sell?
You transfer. I don't know. I'm not counsel to Sunwest, so I don't know.
But you're
the
counsel to
internal.
him.
Yes. I asked him squarely, and he said categorically, I divested. I haven't seen the Sunwest papers. I did see his 2019 SALN, and the SALN does not indicate that he owns stock in Sunwest.
When he submitted his SALN
Yes, for
in
2019.
2019.
Before he
so,
sat.
So
Good
2019.
enough for me.
Yeah, 2019, he became a congressman. He divested from Sunwest, and then you didn't see it in his SALN. How
Yes.
much is he worth in 2019? 4 billion?
4.1 billion.
4.1 billion. And you said, ganun na po siya kayaman in 2019. Mas
Yeah.
mayaman pa siya sa mga Villar.
Yeah, well, Cynthia.
Yeah, o nga, hindi natin po. Senator Cynthia Villar.
Yeah.
So, it's
Or
impo-
Manny Pacquiao.
Or Manny Pacquiao,
Yes.
right. It's important to find out how he divested and actually how much he made from this
couldn't answer you, Pinky. I don't know.
But isn't it important? Because he's linked to it. And some people will always just say, yeah, nag-divest. Alam naman natin yung divest, medyo hindi katotohanan yan.
I can't control what people want to believe. The law is if you divest, you're not an owner. If it was a fraudulent divestment or it was simulated, that's another matter. But I can't defend against all possibilities and against all accusations. If people don't like the corporation code, then they should lobby their congresswoman to amend the corporation code.
True.
Because that's what people are saying about the aircraft. Diba? I was asked, they said, na cover lang yan eh. It's so easy. It's a convenient excuse for saying that he doesn't own any aircraft. That's not my fiction. That's a fiction created by law, by the corporation code. If you don't like it,
change it, amend
change
it.
the corporation code, amend the
But
corporation
you
code.
do agree that somebody can pretend to divest and that person
Sure.
really didn't divest.
Sure,
That's
yeah.
why it's good to find out really if he divested or not.
He did. Whether or not you believe me is another matter.
And do you believe him?
Yes, of course.
Why? When you didn't see any papers?
He had no reason to lie because this happened in 2019. And again, someone said, I don't take credit for this. You'd be a fool to include dirty money in your salin. Diba? So if he says, I divested, all my assets declared in my salin are clean, you'd have to believe the guy because he'd be foolish otherwise.
Do you believe politicians sell ends?
For the most part, yes.
You do.
I believe his.
Okay.
I don't believe everyone else's I've seen recently.
All right. So let's talk about still him. Let's pursue that point, Sunwest. For the sake of, well, of course, you telling us that, and he did. He saying that he divested. He told you he divested. Of course, you believe he divested.
Before this whole thing blew up, incidentally.
So let's look at the numbers. Here's how we connect that.
Okay.
He became House Appropriations Committee Chairman in 2022.
Okay.
Okay? So,
Yes,
naging
sounds about
congressman
right.
po siya ng 2019, 2020, 2021, nanalo ulit siya ng 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025.
Yes.
Rough estimate, in 2019, Sunwest's contracts were about 5 billion.
Okay.
In 2020, about 4 billion.
Okay.
Hindi pa po siya House Appropriations, pero
Yes.
congressman na po siya. 2021, 4 billion.
Yeah.
You know, in 2022, if these numbers
I'm
are...
taking your word for it. Huh? I'm not conceding. Yeah.
So, 16 billion pesos in contracts for Sunwest when
Okay.
he was Appropriations Committee Chair.
Good company.
From 4 billion, that increased to 16 billion. How much is that? 400%
Fourfold.
increase? Yeah. 2023, 17 billion. And then in 2024, 19 billion. Yun po yung numbers na lumalabas. That's why he is being asked exactly what did you do? Where were you a proponent? Ano ba ang in-insert mo sa BICAM? These are the things he needs to answer. Can you answer that for us, Attorney?
Not tonight. I can get back to you. I didn't know you were going to ask me that. And here I go again, lawyer speak. Not relevant to me at the time before this interview.
So,
I could. But I'm curious. Don't the congressional records reflect that, though?
well, yeah, I can actually show you the last one in 2025 because I searched for this as well. It appears that in 2025, just the budget last year, let's look at that.
For
Kasi
this year,
that is,
for 25.
He,
Wasn't that suspended, though?
no,
50%?
no. As Appropriations Chair,
Okay.
there was a file that Congressman Suarez had given to Congressman Toby Tiangco because the president then had asked the congressman to look into the budget.
Okay.
So further on, he gave the budget with a proponent. Nakasulat po kasi doon yung mga proponent.
Okay.
And it appears from that file, Co listed to have 13 billion in listing him as a proponent in the
Okay.
2025 budget. Attorney Ruy,
Okay.
you are Appropriations Committee Chairman, and you are a proponent for 13 billion pesos in areas such as Abra, Occidental Mindoro, Oriental Mindoro, Bukidnon, etc.
Was he the only one, Pinky?
Siya po nakasulat na proponent.
No, I mean, was he the only proponent in any other project?
I checked his. His is the one I checked
Okay,
because he
but
was
he's
Appropriations
okay.
Committee Chair.
I can't debate that now because You might be right if it's an official record, but my next question is, were there other proponents for other projects?
If they come up, we'll look into it, or
Yeah.
maybe we can
Yeah.
also look into
Yeah.
it. But let's talk about him.
Yeah.
The mere fact that you're a Committee on Appropriations chairman, and you have with you, you're a proponent for 13 billion pesos. And sir, you are supposed to be known to have links with the Sunwest, and a lot of the, contracts were cornered also by Sunwest. I mean, even in the President's isumbong mo sa Pangulo, Sunwest was what, number 8? Among the top 10 contractors, sir?
I don't know.
Does it take a genius to kind of like itahi-tahi po yun?
Well, yeah, if you look at it that way, simplistically. But here's my take. During the budget process, they say 13 billion for these projects in these municipalities in these provinces, right? And then they bid that out, don't they? So if Sunwest won, I can only assume because it was a superior bid.
A superior, a superior bid to which
For
the
the
ICI,
government.
yeah, but
For the
where the
government.
ICI is already recommending filing charges against Sunwest and Oriental Mindoro because they supposedly were paid, let's say, 15 meters worth of sheet piles supposedly,
Okay.
and it was found out that they only used 3.
Okay.
So,
I assume that too, na poorly done or not done. But then my question would be, is a congressman who was a proponent responsible for implementation? Di ba, budget lang yan eh. You just allot it.
Yeah.
Di ba, after that, you give it to the executive for implementation and then they give it to whatever to make sure that it is implemented. So even if he's chairman of appropriations, parang it's not part of his responsibilities anymore. Because that is his job. It's his job to receive recommendations and to make recommendations as to where the government's money
but why
will be
would you
spent
be
for
worth
infrastructure.
13 billion pesos as a proponent?
I don't know
Because
if that's
that's
an
not-
unusual number. I don't know.
Okay.
Because that's why I'm asking you what the other numbers are.
All right.
I heard, and I don't remember who, but I heard there was an item where the proponent was for 51 billion. So 13 billion, might be shocking to you, might be shocking to me. But I want to see the whole picture.
All
That's
right.
all I'm saying.
So, okay, so let's go to Sunwest, right?
Again,
So-
I can't speak for Sunwest, Vicky.
Yeah, but no, because he divested, hindi ho
Yes.
ba? So it puts to fore that Zaldy Co divested, wala na siya dyan.
Yes.
Parang ganun yun eh.
Yes.
Pero tama ho ba yung wala siya dyan? Because even if he divested, in the chart, when you see Sunwest, sa ilalim po nun, are there other companies such as Eco Leisure, Eco
Yes.
Realty Ventures, Eco Commercial, Eco Utility, and all of that do business with Sunwest.
I
And
don't know.
all those ecos, they are listed as the owners, Zaldy, his wife Mylene, and then the 2 kids.
Yes.
So, para bang, okay, nag-divest ako dito sa Sunwest, pero itong 4 na kumpanya
Yeah,
to,
but this is Sunwest Construction. That's Sunwest Leisure, Sunwest Machineries, whatever.
Sunwest Realty.
Sunwest Realty. Yeah, because wala naman conflict eh. Di ba? They were in construction, they were in entertainment, they were in hospitality. Pare-pareho lang ang pangalan eh. And of course, they didn't want to complain. Obviously, well, not obviously, apparently Sunwest was a lucky name for them. Must be a Chinese thing. Nothing wrong with that. I won't even deny it, that some of his corporations are still named Sunwest. But it's not the same Sunwest that he divested from.
Actually, it's actually called Eco Leisure,
Oh,
Eco
there you go.
Realty Ventures.
Completely
Hindi naman
separate.
po.
Yeah. They just share the same name.
Yeah, that's a question mark for me when you say it's completely separated. While it is separated, they do business together as like an echo chamber.
I don't know. Do they?
It seems that way. It appears
I
that
don't know.
way.
You
sir.
tell me. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know.
All right. And then
Again, I'm not counsel to those corporations either, so I can't speak to that issue.
what were your biggest concerns when you took over as counsel for Zaldy Co?
I was concerned whether or not the firm could handle the load, because it's a big case. It's colossal. Number 2, I was concerned if we would run into conflicts somewhere down the road with existing clients or
With
potential
powers that be?
clients. No, I'm never afraid of that.
Okay.
For or against, that's never a consideration for me, because we're just lawyering. We don't, I personally try not to wear my politics on my sleeve. Diba? I can represent you even if I don't agree with your politics.
But that's what I wanted to find out from you. Was it easy to accept it? I mean, what kind of conversation can you share with us? I know there's lawyer-client privilege here, but what made you accept Zaldy Co being his counsel? What made you believe him?
I saw the evidence. And I always talk to a client before I propose an engagement, and I get the preliminary facts, and I believe it, and I saw the evidence.
And you're sure, Attorney Ruy, that once charges, if rather, charges are filed against your client, that he will be proven innocent?
Absolutely.
What about...
Not up to me, though. I can only try my best to defend him and to prove that the charges against him are false.
Okay, but what is the biggest evidence you're saying that made you believe that all this is false?
It's not the biggest evidence that I have. It's the absence of evidence from the other side.
I got it. Yeah. The burden of proof lies with
There
the
you
prosecution,
go.
as they always
We've
say.
had this conversation before.
And you have to be proven, supposed to be
Yes.
beyond reasonable doubt.
Yes, because your question, and that's everyone's question, assumes that I have to prove my client's innocence. I don't have to.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
I totally understand that. There's always a misconception about that.
Yes.
As a last question,
Sure.
was there any moral issues for you when you chose to accept Zaldy Co as a
Not at all.
It was very easy.
It was very easy. I know what you're thinking.
No,
You're-
I'm just
okay.
thinking that
Okay,
he's
then
a
no.
very controversial person. A lot of people, I mean, there are people who will really think he is guilty.
Oh, we
Right?
lawyers, I like to think, I personally, but lawyers, I like to think, don't make moral judgments about their clients. In fact, people say you should not defend the guilty. You know, our canons and our ethics rules require us to defend whether or not we
Guilty
believe.
or not, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're required to, not that we want to, we have to.
That's why I asked about the moral issue.
Nah.
If that was troubling, or if that was a very easy
No.
answer.
I have only two hard no's when it comes to a referral. You want to know what they are?
Yes, go ahead.
Drug pushing and kiddie rape. Hard no's for me. I'm not even going to interview the potential client.
So Friday
We'll see.
doesn't look like he will appear.
Nah, doesn't look like.
All
I don't
right.
want the Senate accusing me of disrespecting them. So I'm going out now. It doesn't look like it.
Attorney Ruy Rondain, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me. Always
And
good.
that's On Point. Join us again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.